What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Of course, I'm your host, Brandon Blakeney, aka Brandon Lee TV. You know I got another banger for you, so kick back, relax, and come take a ride with me.
You are now locked into the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Here is your host, Brandon Blakeney.
Now, we knew Iowa would look completely different without their all-world player, Caitlin Clark, who has led them for the last 4 seasons, as well as Coach Lisa Bluder, who has led this program for decades. Both of them no longer with the Iowa program, and it is a new era beginning with Caitlin Clark's heir apparent replacement, Lucy Olsen, who was third in scoring last year in the entire country. We knew this team would look completely different, and they just won their first game in the post-Caitlin Clark era with their new coach, Coach Jenson, who's been around the program for quite some time. It was weird, I'm not going to lie to y'all, not to see number 22 out there for Iowa this season, but they started off with a bang, a much more balanced scoring attack for this team. But it wasn't just Caitlin Clark that they lost, man. They lost Molly Davis, and they lost Kate Martin as well, that super senior class, the most winningest senior class in the history. They also lost Gabby Marshall, who was a big contributor on the offensive and defensive side for this group. A lot of production. They're going to be a lot younger this year, but there are still some familiar faces. The Hannah Stolkes of the world getting it done as well. They overcame a slow start and beat a scrappy Northern Illinois team just now. Now, we mentioned you don't just replace a Caitlin Clark. Not with one player. It is definitely by committee, and that's what they showed tonight with multiple double-digit scores. Iowa in this game had 6 double-digit scores. Leading the way, of course, we mentioned the heir apparent. Lucy Olsen, the heir apparent, led the way with 19 points and 7 assists at the point guard position. And like I said, it's not going to be one person taking over for this group. It's definitely going to be a team effort. And we saw Iowa, man, had some crucial turnovers and only led by 1 point heading into the second quarter before they really turned it on. Also having a big game was Hannah Stolke, who finished with 11 points. Remember last year, she broke the single game scoring record right after Caitlin Clark did. Addison O'Grady is a player that I expect for them to have a breakout year. They're going to rely on her a lot more coming in, the young center. She had 12 points as well for this group, as well as 3 rebounds. Stolke had 5 rebounds. Taylor McCabe, a sharpshooter who has waited her turn with this program, came in and had 11 points she went 3 of 7 from 3-point range. So definitely something to monitor there. Her playing some big minutes, having 25 minutes of playing time. She is one of those players they're going to rely on to really step up and be a big-time contributor. Someone that has been around the program, that understands the Iowa standard, and will continue to shoot that basketball. Tegan Maligny also played big, had 14 points. And they got a lot of production, man, off the bench as well as from their starting lineup, man. But a very effective 6-woman attack for this group. It's going to be balanced. They don't have a player that's going to be averaging 30. But Lucy Olsen in her debut, man, how about her just showing that she's going to play her own game? She's not trying to be Caitlin Clark. She's not trying to fill Caitlin Clark's shoes. She is one of the most prolific guards in the nation, and she was a must-have transfer. It wasn't pretty, but Iowa gets the job done, and they have turned the chapter on Caitlin Clark officially tonight, picking up that big win, Coach Jenson's first win as a head coach. Iowa, I think they're going to have something to say, man. They're not at full strength. It'll be big when they get Sydney Falter back, who filled in for that starting lineup when Molly Davis went out. She's coming back from injury. But Iowa, Big Ten outlook, man, of course, UCLA, USC, Ohio State, definitely a lot of good teams, but Iowa is going to have something to say. They're going to be a lot better, a lot scrappier, and they're going to compete. They're at the point now where it's become a brand. They have become one of those national powerhouses that we have grown accustomed to seeing. I think they're bigger than just one player, but they spread the basketball out. They got good shots. They made 3-pointers. They continue to move the basketball and just create space for themselves. They look good in transition. The defense is definitely going to have to step up. But for a first game, I think they were pretty impressive, man. We didn't know how they would look without Caitlin Clark. We just knew that somebody else was going to have to dominate the ball. Lucy Olsen looked comfortable. She looks like she's been with this program for years. She continues to be one of the most productive players in the country, and I think she was a perfect replacement for Caitlin Clark. She played her game well. She gets it off the dribble, deep range herself, not afraid of the big shot, has played a lot of games, comes in experienced, no pressure at all for her, man. She's out there playing young, wild, and free, and I love that she is embracing this new era of Iowa basketball. Not trying to be Caitlin Clark, not trying to put up those numbers, not trying to jack 20 shots a game, but just finding her flow within the offense. Also realizing that she is the number one scoring option for this team. Watch out for Iowa, though, man. I've been saying this since before the season started. I think they're going to surprise a lot of people. They're going to be a lot more competitive. This program didn't just die because Caitlin Clark left. They are alive and well and looking like a very feisty bunch, man. I think they got some big contributions from players that have been around the program for multiple years, that have waited their turn, and they finally realize now that it's their time to shine. This is their team, and it will go as far as they carry it. But I was very impressed with Lucy Olsen. Shot selection, shot-making ability, the way that she's picked up this system and runs the show for this offense. They plugged her right in, and she's living up to the hype, living up to the billing, and doing everything they expected her to do. So she's going to be major. Look for her to be in that Player of the Year running. Look for Iowa to be chasing that Big Ten crown, man. I think they did a great job of reloading and also just adding quality pieces, but also respect to this coaching staff for continuing to develop the talent that is already on this roster. They're young, they're hungry, but they are definitely competitive as well. They looked a lot different without Caitlin. I ain't gonna lie. It was weird not seeing that 22, but I think Iowa will be just fine, man. Y'all let me know how y'all feel in the comments, though. Holler at me. That is a wrap for us. For all the latest and the greatest, I am Brandon Blakeney, a.k.a. Brandon Lee TV. Until next time, we out.